And the question was, what amount of interest for cash lending is realistic today? So as we all know, interest rates have gone up significantly over the last year and a half. So if we are lending our personal cash, does it make sense then that we are also going to get a higher interest rate? Just like the banks right now are charging a higher interest rate. Well, private money too, we can charge a higher interest rate. Does that make sense? Now, your question was, what amount of interest for cash lending is realistic today? It's not an easy question to answer, and I'm going to tell you why. And so this is going to be kind of a long-winded answer to that question because it depends on a lot of factors. But here are the factors that would determine what interest rate as a lender you might charge or what interest rate as a borrower you might pay. What makes the determining factor, though, whether it's 9% or 18%? Here are some common determining factors. Number one, it depends on how much money is being lent, okay, or how much money is being borrowed. If it's a $50,000 borrow or lend, that interest rate could be different than if it was a $500,000 borrow or lend. Okay, so the amount of money can have an effect on what interest rate we may charge or be charged. The time period that money is going to be invested or lent or borrowed is going to have a determining factor. So if it's a 3-month lend versus a 2-year or a 20-year, you're going to have a wide variety in interest rate depending on how long that money is being borrowed for. And of course, risk comes into it. So these are my top 3 things that I look at if I'm looking to lend money or needing to borrow money. Is how much is it, how long, and how risky. And there's a lot of factors that are included in how risky. Number one, who is it that I'm lending that money to? Do I know them? Have I seen them in the industry for a long period of time? Tied in with that is, do they have experience in what they're looking to do? If this is somebody that has always had buy and holds and this is their first flip, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. I might charge a higher interest rate if I choose to lend money to them. If this is somebody that's done 150 flips already, or even done 20 flips already, and they've been successful, they've learned from some mistakes, well, then I might ask for a lower amount of interest because it's more secure. My money, I feel like I'm going to be more secure. My risk level is going to be lower. I'm not going to be worrying about getting my money back as much with somebody who has experience. And of course, loan to value ratios come into play here too. How much of a risk do I have? If I'm lending $100,000 to somebody and it's only at 50% loan to value, and I know that worst case scenario, I could foreclose on that property and get my money back. That's a lot better than if the loan to value is up to 100% or 90%, and the margin for error is a lot less. So loan to value is going to have an effect on your interest rate as well. Okay, good guys. So those are some of the factors that we want to keep in mind if we're looking to lend out money, or we might be looking at an investment opportunity and we might be thinking, okay, well, I'm going to need to borrow X amount of dollars to complete the renovation, and I can complete that renovation in 3 months, or maybe it's going to take me 6 months. Well, now when you figure out how long that's going to take, how big of a renovation it might be, that's going to factor in how much interest you are able to pay, or what's the loan to value. All of these things, guys, come into play when we're trying to figure these things out.